Bros play!
Doesn't he look like he's having some breathing problems just with the way his mouth is like...
Oh, yeah. I don't know if rocks breathe, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's probably just panting?
Yeah, maybe.
I guess.
Alright. Well, this is... Okay, take a look. Take a look at the Sky Castle words in the bottom left screen. And they got a fun font.
Mm-hmm.
Look how boring this font is over here.
I did notice that. It doesn't look appropriate to the environment.
It doesn't seem like it's actually on a sign.
It looks like it was done in Helvetica.
Oh, Helvetica is really good, which is why it sucks.
Is that what they make road signs out of?
Maybe. I think there's different fonts, though.
Like for different signs?
Yeah, maybe. Because there's different colors, too.
What are we doing here?
So these are cats, and this is fox. And fox must get to green. So we have to kick and punch. And
Oh, you need both of the foxes to get to the green.
Yeah. So I'm going to move this guy to here. Bring this guy back.
Oh, smart. SMRT.
Sometimes I am. Other times, am not.
Most of the time I'm not.
But always know, am.
Sometimes I'm clever. Sometimes I'm very clever.
Sometimes am legend.
Wait, do you have to pick up coins? Or do they just go to you?
Those ones I think you just get.
Okay, so the ones that kind of explode out of stuff. Where's he keeping this book?
Where's he keeping his coins?
I mean, yeah, I had the same question about Tack, because he used to pick up all these things and just shove them somewhere that no one could see. Yeah.
Shove them where the juju don't shine.
Yeah, the juju don't shine not many places these days.
That'd be a really cool game to reboot.
I honestly think we should just move on to the second and then eventually the third.
I'm glad you're being honest with me.
Yeah, no problem, brother.
Because normally you're just a fucking lying prick.
I like to use that expression because there are a lot of times where it would actually be easier to lie to people.
I am drowning.
That's okay.
I'm slowly drowning.
I am slowly drowning in the pond.
I love how his little foxtail is like popping out of the ground there.
Yeah, not a very good digger.
I don't think foxes are particularly good at digging, are they?
I'm not sure. I know that there's a snow fox that like dive bombs through the snow to get rats. So they must know how to dig a little bit.
Yeah. That was weird. I think he was supposed to flick him with his ear, but
I think
it
yeah,
didn't quite look that. Like
yeah, that. I didn't understand that.
The guy's just calling me a hoe. Said oh ho.
Look here, ho.
That's when a kid was reading Romeo and Juliet. He's like, "Fetch me my longsword, ho."
That's awesome. Inflection changes everything.
I don't think he was trying to do that. That was good.
Oh,
fuck you.
That was intense.
These are like the Jack 2 bombs from the fight.
I thought that was Jack 3, but
Baron.
Oh, from that one. Oh, that's right. Jack 2 is a freaking great game, man.
I think it's better than the third.
Oh, it's definitely better than the third.
I think the third added too many things. I think it stretched itself too thin.
I think some of the things it added were pretty fantastic, though.
Well, Light Jack is incredible, and it's a natural progression in the game series where he had no powers in the first game. Well, yeah, I guess he used the powers that the game had, the game environment had. And then the second game he got a specific power, and then the third game he was given a third one, and I think that works pretty well.
And I think some of the upgraded weapons made sense.
Absolutely. They went from 4 to 16 guns.
Yeah, and that was it was only 12, but yeah, that was
it?
Yeah, it was 3 each.
Oh.
But that was still my problem, that I felt like the scattergun naturally kind of progressed into there was, what was it, like a grenade launcher, and then I forget what the final iteration was even.
I can't remember if it was this with a blaster, but there was one where it shot up in the air and just
That was the blaster, yeah.
Just rain bullets down.
And that one was okay, but kind of lame. I thought the reflexor shot was much more appropriate.
And it takes more ammo. I never noticed that.
The reflexor?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that either.
Like the bouncy bullets, because I felt the balance was off when I was a kid. I just wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay, so it's actually more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I also felt like there was a natural progression to the Vulcan cannon, where it got the arc welder attachment. That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
But I just felt like, you're right, the 12 weapons just really overwhelmed the balance, and suddenly you only use like 2 weapons.
You got to see this lady's reaction to this moment. I think it was really funny. I was laughing really hard at that yesterday.
And now she's fine.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh my
I'm Tess.
Greetings, unknown variable. That's what she called you.
Yeah. Just like, oh, it's too good.
Oh my god. Wilford the sheriff?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
I forget what they call these guys. The worm something.
Why does he have arms?
Why does he have a hat and a mustache and aviators? You're really going to start
Well, he's a
picking
sheriff.
that apart?
He needs those to be a sheriff, brother.
He doesn't need those to be a sheriff. A sheriff don't need nothing but his wits and a proper rifle.
Have you ever seen an appropriate sheriff without a mustache? Because I have not.
Now that I'm thinking about it, the sheriff in 310 to Yuma has a mustache. The sheriff, you know what? The sheriff in Godless doesn't have a mustache.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. The sheriff in Unchained does, though. Django Unchained.
Yeah, that makes sense. You have to buy some later hosen.
Is there anything else to spend this money on?
No.
Oh, then totally get that. Yeah.
I gotta put
Nice.
those on. Oh yeah.
Very nice.
Every time I see later hosen, it reminds me of the part in the Garfield film when Bill Murray's like, "Hey, John, whatever the dog's name is, he's on the TV. He's wearing lederhosen."
Is that Otis?
Otis. Was it Otis? I swear Otis was a different dog.
I'm honestly really, really unfamiliar with Garfield. For some reason.
It's good that you're still being honest with me. People hate it when you comment on stuff like that and you see that fucking rabbit just fall off of the road.
I did not. Is this supposed to be a rabbit too?
I think so.
It looked like a pig at first because you have mud all over its face.
Yeah. He just felt that one of those rabbits just went right into the drink. He's gone.
They can swim.
But yeah, people hate it when you point out the behavior that they didn't notice in themselves.
Yeah, especially speech tics.
Yeah, when they like people say like to be honest, or what was the other one that I always hear people say? I've forgotten what it is now. They all bother me though. Like when
the unconscious ones, right?
When you say the same, I'm supposed to jump on his head and avoid the poison. Wow, that's so cool.
That would be garlic farts.
Oh,
for
garlic,
the
because they're onions.
Oh, I thought they were garlic. I thought they were cloves of garlic.
Oh,
they might have been onions.
They're
They're
garlic. Okay.
Could not.
Garlic makes more sense. Woo!
It's all that garlic. Well, the honestly thing, and to be honest, that actually comes from the fact that I would usually prefer to tell people lies at work.
Really?
Because the truth usually sucks. It usually costs people a lot of money. It usually results in delays. Like, seriously. So I kind of do that as a way of basically preparing people for the fact that I'm about to tell them some shit they don't want to hear.
Yeah, like a doctor
whereas,
saying something like that. Like,
yeah, whereas, we're here friends and just doing, something to shoot the shit. So there's no reason for me to say it to you. It's just so ingrained in my brain. I appreciate it because I prefer not to say annoying crap like that people are going to notice. So, if someone else can point it out to me, it saves me the embarrassment.
a lot of the time people just don't know what I'm doing because they don't even hear it.
Yeah, or they think you're being rude, which I don't understand. Because you're not trying to be rude.
I will always understand why people think I'm trying to be rude.
Is that because you are?
No.
Are you sure?
I heard a great line in a song by The Scary Jokes. I think that's the name of the band. And she says, "How could? Of course, people don't understand your presentation. They have no imagination."
Excuse me.
And I think that you can like expand that to say, of course, people don't understand when you're correcting them on their speech tics because they're not thinking the way that you think.
Yeah, they're not looking for those.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I try to like, I've been thinking about that for a while now. I actually really like that line. Those fucking spikes in the wall? Piece of shit.
You want to remind me what that line was again? That you just said you enjoyed?
Of course they don't understand your presentation. They have no imagination.
You do. That is a good line.
You do have imagination, and they don't. So of course that they're going to look at what you have to say as stupid or poorly thought out because they're not thinking about it. They don't spend that time thinking the way you do.
Huh. I feel like that applies a lot with creative pursuits.
Yeah.
In a big way.
Well, and you watched Rob Lowe on Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
When they were talking about how the pilot episode of West Wing, some producer wanted them to actually have footage of the characters pulling the Cuban refugees out of the boats.
What?
Yeah, so the beginning, as far as I remembered, it was the pilot episode of West Wing, and President Bartlett gives this speech that is connected to the themes of the episode, but is also connected to these refugees trying to escape Cuba. So the whole thing is connected in the themes, right? And at the end of the episode, they get the news that the refugees have made it safely home, and it's ties together with the themes. And some producer was like, "No, we need a shot of President Bartlett and the rest of the West Wing physically pulling these people off the boats because they have to be the heroes."
That would have literally ruined the show.
And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What show are you trying to make over there, right?
Yeah, that would not have interested me at all.
No.
Like, that defeats the purpose.
Well, imagine if it was not a show about the actual White House and instead it was just a show about people who worked there.
It just wouldn't have lasted as long.
Who just keep leaving the White House or the West Wing to rescue people.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Honestly, that show was really intelligent, and that's what was so good about it. Mm-hmm. It didn't have a lot of those really silly moments or overly dramatized things where it. Wow, I didn't even realize you could get over that wall.
Gotta try. Fox has gotta try. You know what I'm talking about?
You gotta do what you gotta do. It's like the scenes where the president is talking to like the men on a boat, and the men are in a storm and they can't be saved, and so he's just talking to them to keep them, engaged as they basically die. And I thought that was such a powerful scene because that's reality. Mm-hmm. You can't always send a crew of well-armed guys out to the ship to save everyone from the storm. Like, that's not how every movie ends. Mm-hmm. It's such a brilliant show. I wish I had the patience to watch it these days. I just don't have time. So it's just really frustrating watching a show that has 24 fucking episodes and 40 minutes per episode. And, I wish it was boiled down to 13. I'd probably be able to stomach it.
It's a great show. Came from Cartoon Network, but it's on Netflix now. It's called Close Enough. It's an animated show about two parents who live, to save money, they live with a divorced couple in the same house. And it's raunchy and it's silly and it's like in the vein of all the other adult animateds. But what I love about it is the show is each episode is only like 10 minutes long.
What?
And so in order to fill a Cartoon Network space or a time slot, there's 2 episodes in every episode. So part way through the episode, it just ends. Like
SpongeBob used to.
Was it really that short?
Yeah, because they had two 10-minute clips.
I don't remember that
to
at
make
all.
Up it started being a full show, and then after season, I think 6 or 7, it changed.
I hope that Close Enough stays the way that they are, because I think the show is so lean. The first season's only like 10 episodes, so it's 20 10-minute episodes. It would fit on YouTube and be the highest quality thing you've ever seen on YouTube. It's like It's so fucking good because it's so fast. The jokes come at you so quickly that I can't remember a single one of them at the end of an episode. But it's great, and I was laughing the whole time. Pretty sure the guy who plays I've forgotten his name now.
You're gonna have to go hit a switch somewhere.
I gotta hit a switch, right?
Yeah. You're gonna have to backtrack.
The guy who Pimento from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The crazy guy who likes Diaz.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like
he's great.
Yeah, he's just like you have no idea, man.
He's like, so disheveled all the time.
Yeah, always disheveled. I'm pretty sure he plays one of the divorced couple people. But it's a fucking great show.
Well, have you heard of the show Life in Pieces?
No.
It's a story that follows like essentially 4 different families, and so what it does is every single episode is 4 short stories. So the clips are even half as long. So they're more like 5 minutes each.
Interesting.
And I mean, it's not exactly my cup of tea, but what is cool is that there are all these shows out there nowadays which are just doing different things.
Yeah.
They're doing all these different things, and people are liking them. Very much the same way Joe Rogan has often talked about how is it possible that people want to watch a 3-hour, long form thing, but yet Hollywood still thinks that people want to watch 2-second clips, right? I think it's interesting that people really want these like long, dramatic Game of Thrones style shows, but they're also super willing to watch these, tight little digestible stories.
And it's different timing too. Like sometimes I just want to watch one YouTube video. and the content too isn't really important. Like what's actually fucking
shut the fuck up, Bunny.
This is the longest.
God damn it!
Jeez.
He's probably trying to tell you that you can go to where the other bunnies are. And oh my god, is this a loop? What is going on here? Wow, that was something else, man.
Forever. Oh.
But yeah, different times a day.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that fucking drawing, though.
That was pretty
His
sweet.
surprise drawing, I fucking love that.
Yeah, it actually reminds me of Ratchet.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of Ratchet.
Yeah, Ratchet actually looks like he's like an untextured fucking weirdo in the first game.
Where you go, bro?
I don't know where I'm supposed to go now.
You got to go back to you didn't see all those bunnies sitting on the bench?
That's where I've collected them though.
But now that you've got 6, I almost guarantee. See, you got these big onion heads up here. Like, yeah, that's the move. You got to go back to them bunnies. See that little exclamation point?
Exclamation mark. Look at that.
Exclamation point.
Mark?
Point?
It's not really a point though.
Is it not an exclamation point? No, I guess it's not.
Yeah.
It's an exclamation mark.
It
just has a point.
Is it a good point or is it a good mark?
I don't know.
I haven't been over here.
You don't know.
Oh no, I have.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you've been everywhere except for wherever them bunnies are gonna let you in.
I've been everywhere, man. Jumping over the fence. Got a peg in my butthole.
Yeah, you kind of did. They're really not that sharp. I'm surprised. Surprised you get damaged by them.
What?
It's just re-celebrating your 6 bunny experience.
Oh, that was really weird.
It was.
I thought I was in the Twilight Zone there. Is that a reference people don't get? Oh no, it's right. Jordan Peele is making more. Yeah, he's making more of those. The Twilight Zone's back on.
Jordan Peele's gonna direct it?
Already has, I'm pretty sure.
Huh. But isn't the sort of the modern Outer Limits really just been Black Mirror? For the last couple years?
Kind of, but Outer Limits dealt with some really, I don't know. I was about to say, anything I had about to say, I realized I'm not wrong. So
right, because Dark Mirror really did a lot of
pretty much
ridiculous
is
stuff.
The modern version of it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciated Dark Mirror, and I find it disappointing what the creator said. Okay, you gotta hit that switch and then backtrack, bro.
Do I?
Yes. I found it somewhat disappointing. What the creator said is he was basically just saying, "Listen, you gotta go back like the way you came."
Oh.
He said, "I can't make any more Black Mirror because life is so ridiculous these days that there's just things that aren't fantasy anymore." And I think he's being hyperbolic a little bit, but I also think in some ways it's true. The Den of Reek. The Garlic King has got some real eye problems.
He's taking the Carrot King hostage. Okay.
It's so funny. Would he just give you something?
No, I think I have to fight him. Look at these guards up top.
Yeah.
With their
onion
shovels.
protection.
With their fucking shovels.
Oh man.
It is bizarre living in 2020. A lot of the things I used to have to say are very different. I was on this escapade, lasted for many years, trying to explain to people who complained about nowadays, trying to let them know that nowadays is fucking great. And things have changed so much that I'm not really correct anymore in saying that.
It's difficult,
like,
yeah.
It's because before it was like, oh man, now's the worst time ever. It's like, why? Because we're not happy with who's the president of the United States? Like, you know how many times significantly worse things have happened? There are so many good things about nowadays. And then things got so strange that I'm like, oh, yeah, I mean...
Different ball game.
I gotta say, you're not exactly wrong about now being really awful, because I've been remarkably untouched by the experience. The decisions I make are very different, but I've never lost work. I haven't had a hard time paying my rent. In fact, things have actually gone better for me in 2020 than any other year. I've discovered art, and it's been more enjoyable to me than creating in the last 5 years. I think I've done more in just 4 months than probably the last 2 years of making videos. So things have gone really well for me. And I haven't seen a lot of the impact that other people have experienced, like jobs and having to work in stressful workplaces under new conditions. And
well, that's the weird thing, is how asymmetrical it's all been.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's some people have had basically a complete loss of everything that they once had, and other people have been totally unaffected, like especially the people that already worked from home. Right? There's not a lot of change for those people as far as like day to day.
The people I kind of, it's like kind of rude to say, but I kind of find funny how they've been impacted is excessively rich and famous people who don't actually do anything. Like they're just known, and they get to like go to parties and all that kind of stuff, and so much of that, like they're now going crazy, and people who used to laugh at YouTube are now making YouTube videos because they have nothing else to do in their homes. But there are definitely some like positive things that have come about such a dramatic change in behavior, like things that we've realized we never needed to do. I went to a clinic in October for my back. I sat in a hard fucking plastic seat for an hour and 45 minutes for a guy to tell me that my back hurt, which I already knew. And then I hurt my back 2 weeks ago, and there was only one place in town that did in-person visits. So you can imagine going from that number of clinics to one that does in-person. You'd think, oh, you must have sat there for 18 hours. No, they don't let you just show up. You have to make an appointment, because a walk-in clinic isn't really a walk-in in the same, like I just hurt my back and now I have to, what do you tell me not to do?
Yeah, so you have to stay in Burrow.
Oh, okay.
And those
So I had to make an appointment, which was really easy to do, and then I showed up 15 minutes before my appointment, and I was seen in less than 20 minutes, and out the door. In a walk-in clinic, in the past, it would have been like an hour would have been a great fucking time. And we always had this technology. We always had the opportunity to do that. We just chose not to because we didn't have to.
Well, there's a difference, though. I think part of the reason it was so quick is no one's going.
Right.
I honestly think that's a huge part of it.
But also consider that, though, that if people aren't going, it's probably not important.
Not necessarily true, because like I have a buddy who, this is obviously not a clinic item, but he had a serious like nerve impingement on his leg, but that's technically considered an elective surgery in Canada because of our healthcare system. So he's not able to get that healthcare right now because the hospitals aren't doing elective surgeries.
For sure, but a walk-in clinic is going to take you for a lot of reasons.
Right, and I honestly think there are people who are just choosing not to go where they would have before, and in some ways that's a benefit, because there's people who would be like, my stomach doesn't feel good, I'm gonna go sit in the walk-in clinic.
Yeah.
And then they're just holding up people like you that are actually injured. So
right.
From that perspective, I think that part is pretty good.
Well, and I've never needed to go to a clinic for treatment. It's always been work. Work just needs you to go there. Right?
Oh, really?
So it's just time that I'm spending. I don't even need to be there. Which really should have actually encouraged them not to ask me to do that, but whatever. I won't fight you on it.
It is what it is.
It cost me $15 for a note. I'll take that in cash, please.
Jesus. Yeah.
I don't think that things are better overall. I just I spent so much time focusing on the negative in February and March that when the sun came out and there was daylight, I started to focus on the positive things and all the things we didn't need to do that we can do differently, and it reminds people what's really important, like going to prom. Not that important. Seems like it's important.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, is there's a lot of things that we have decided are important but aren't necessarily required to be happy and healthy. And now we're kind of like redrawing all those things, right? We're like changing all those decisions in our mind of like what is and isn't necessary.
Mm-hmm.
What I do find frustrating, though, is that when people aren't working, they get angry.
Yeah.
Right? Just look at Germany before the Second World War. Like that's what started it all, was people not having money. So that part bothers me, that there's so much more anger than there used to be. There is so many more people that are jumping to the fuck you for no reason.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. Like, when it comes to anything online, you're now looking at people who want to be angry because they're sad and upset. So to be angry at something, to find something to tell that, you're wrong, you're doing this. I have definitely noticed that. That it's just, unrest, I guess, is maybe a way to put it.
Do you think the direction we were going as a society, the softer and softer, do you think we've gone in the opposite direction, or is it more?
I think it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
Because I think that there's a prevailing mentality in a lot of the world these days that all individuals need to be protected at all costs, regardless of the cost. And that's sort of, we're going down this direction of like all people need to have financial security, which I believe everyone has a right to the opportunity for financial security.
Right.
But the problem is not everyone has a right to the guarantee of financial security. And I think that has been pushed by COVID because we're realizing...
We almost went the whole conversation without one of us saying it. And now the whole video is demonetized. We went from $0 to $0. Thanks, brother.
Oh, is that how that works? You're not allowed to mention the old vid?
You can't mention anything controversial on YouTube anymore.
Yeah, and I actually think that that's something pushing us in this direction of what you were just talking about, the softness.
It's bullshit.
What, YouTube?
Be honest. This can't be what you wanted.
Yeah, it's to me that seems like something that YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter are all going to have to reckon with when this is all over, that they all played a part in some of the shit that went down.
Absolutely.
And they are doing things that I would say are unconstitutional in many ways. And I know we don't have a constitution here in Canada, so that's kind of a weird thing for me to say, but to be censoring people for your ideas is just wrong. It's just flat out wrong.
It's wrong. It's also totally impractical because it's creating a space, like people are creating alternate spaces. It's pulling things from YouTube, and I get that YouTube's so big that they can't even manage it themselves, but the stuff that people get demonetized for, it's in movies or TV shows that have those same advertisers on them.
Well, this is what kills me the most. They want to say, like, oh, this is all about being advertiser friendly. And you know what the vast majority of advertisements I get are? Like 95% of them are either Ty Lopez and his whole gang of like...
You still get those?
Yeah. Not him. I've actually not seen Ty Lopez in a long time. But people doing that where they're like, this is how to make a bunch of money. This is how to get girls or whatever. It's all this like clear clickbait. And the other things that are advertised are mobile games that might as well be clickbait too. And all I'm saying is these advertisers would advertise over gang rape if you told them to. They would. They don't care. All they want to do is get their stuff in front of people's eyes. In fact, the people who are doing this probably want crappy content that would be advertiser unfriendly, because those are the people that are dumb enough to click on your things.
It's really good that we were already demonetized.
Yeah, because it's so ridiculous. The idea that you're gonna make money off YouTube, like, you have to get so many views and you have to be so careful about what you say, to the point where you're not even allowed to say incredibly innocuous things. It's pretty much a deal with the devil. Like, if your main source of income is YouTube, you have sold your soul to the devil.
Yeah, well, chances are, yeah. It's really bizarre. The what's it called? The legal side of it, the enforcement, is always behind technology, right? So right now, there's a lot of things that we're doing that are really weird that would not have flown on television, but they would have, in the 30s or the 40s. And then they figured it out, and they started to say things like, you can't advertise to children because they just don't understand that it's advertising. So then things caught up.
I think you can just jump on the roof, by the way.
How?
Like, go up to where you were. I think you actually, I think you can jump high enough to just get straight up to the roof from here. Yeah, like just right up that way. Maybe not.
No, I think I was actually over there, and I think I just fell off the thing.
Yeah, you just got to climb to the other side. Yeah,
just being a silly Billy. And now the internet is so far ahead of law enforcement that they haven't quite figured out the same things that they were already doing in television. So now you've got these Fox,
stupid Fox.
Hey. Like the Paul brothers, who make completely inappropriate children specifically aimed at children. And they finally figured that one out in like 2017, and that's what the Children's Online Protection something, COPA, I think it's called.
And that's why YouTube's rules changed?
And that's why you have to self enforce or self-identify as intended for children or not. So
I think that makes sense, honestly.
And it's a kind of elegant response to the whole thing, because now you acknowledge whether you're doing that or not, instead of sitting in this weird gray area where you say, my demographic is 8 to 14.
But it's not made for children.
But I make content like my dad kisses a stranger.
Ugh.
Or my hot girlfriend comes over. Or, oops, I did something with my mom. Like, it's fucking weird, and they know it's weird, and they're acknowledging that it's taboo, but they're still showing it to kids, and that's just not okay. And they actually got fined. YouTube got fined like $170 million.
Which is nothing, though.
Which is nothing, but it's
such an absurdly small amount of money.
I mean, yeah, but also if you're it's enough for YouTube to say, okay, I guess we gotta. How do I get the fuck up there?
I've also never understood that, for whatever reason, like this, this may be sort of only peripherally related. Yeah, you got to get the boat captain. I think that's the only way.
Oh,
yeah, you got to get the stupid boats going.
I get it.
Not that YouTube was sort of knowingly committing a crime per se, like, because they were maybe turning a blind eye or whatever, but it wasn't like they knew for a fact this was 100% illegal and they were still doing it. But have you ever noticed that when companies do things intentionally illegal to steal money, they're fined an amount that is often less than the amount of money that they stole?
And it's also not proportional to what it actually means for that company, right?
So you're telling the next person that the cost of stealing is less than the benefit of stealing. You're telling them to steal money. I honestly feel like if you embezzle $100 million, you should have a fine plus $100 million.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes sense. Like, I've never understood why somebody thinks that that's okay. Like, oh, this is a victory because we slapped them with a $150 million fine. But they made $6 billion off of the scam. Like, unreal. Unreal. I think you've heard the term clout, right?
Yeah.
I think clout is something we're just missing as a society. Like, I just don't think we have the will to tell people, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I think people also just pussies.
Yeah, well, it's all about the dollar, the almighty dollar,
Yeah.
as Simpsons would say.
What are you gonna do with all these flies, bro? Bert?
Yeah, what's this for? Is they gonna drag his boat back?
What's it all for? Wow.
Does he talk like the characters from Magica, where it's just all nonsense?
Yeah, but he's also got like a southern accent.
Yeah,
That's
this
cute.
one string banjo.
Hey, if you're talented, you ain't need nothing more than strumming it.
2-second riff. That was
Wow.
hilarious.
All right, well, next time I guess we'll get really into something else controversial.
Yeah, we'll piss some more people off.